What's up guys, Dr. Bo here, and today I'm answering your questions about when is the best and worst time to take your multivitamins, especially vitamin D.
How can I help you today?
Hey Dr. Bo, thank you so much for making these videos in between patients. I have a question about when I should be taking my supplements, especially vitamin D, as that seems to be kind of the hot supplement to combat COVID. Should I be taking it morning, night, before bed? Give me your thoughts. All right, Susan. So first off, thank you so much for submitting your question. And yes, guys, for all of you, if you're watching this on Instagram or YouTube or wherever you're seeing this, I am an in-practice full-time chiropractor. So I'm not just one of these guys that's like a talking head who their entire life revolves around making YouTube videos. Matter of fact, I do most of these YouTube videos for my patients, for my family, for my friends, and just a way to help get the word out, because I have been lucky enough to get a lot of knowledge during my almost 40 years here in existence on the earth so far. So let's talk a little bit about multivitamins, and specifically for Susan, vitamin D. So a lot of people ask me this, especially when they come into my practice, and we give a lot of supplementation out to our patients, and they always say, "But when should I take this?" And honestly, it obviously matters what type of nutrients are in the supplement that you are given. So let's first off talk about vitamin D. Now, if you didn't know, vitamin D is what they call a fat-soluble vitamin. So what does that mean? It means that it needs a molecule of fat basically to bind to it for it to be absorbed. Now, again, those are super layman's terms, but when you are trying to take your vitamin D for most optimal absorption rates, you want to be able to take it with food, and the food should have some sort of fat in it. Now, I'm not saying you need to wake up and eat a steak in the morning, but what I am saying is that there should be some sort of fat binder that connects with the vitamin D that you're taking. So a lot of the times, and I'll tell you from personal experience, I love like avocado toast or just avocado in period, or you put the avocado in your protein shake in the morning, or you have some sort of like peanut butter is another great fat that you can kind of bind it with your vitamin D to take. So the absolute best time to take your vitamin D is with food. Now, the second question you're gonna ask is, okay, Bo, should I be taking my multivitamins then in the morning or at night? And specifically around vitamin D as well. So first off, let's back up and talk about vitamin D. So first off, you wanna make sure that you are consuming some sort of fat while you're taking your vitamin D. However, you do not want to take vitamin D at night. And the reason is that vitamin D inhibits, or basically turns off, a portion of the brain hormone called melatonin that is produced. Now, if you guys know, melatonin helps your body sleep, helps your body recover, helps put your body into more of what they call a parasympathetic state, which is kind of that they call rest and digest and grow state of the body. So when you take vitamin D, it inhibits melatonin, so it actually turns that down. So what we see is that a lot of people, when they take vitamin D at night, melatonin is not turned on, they don't sleep as good, they don't get as good as rest and or recovery. So the most optimal time to take vitamin D, in my opinion, is at breakfast and or at lunch. Now, when you're talking about a multivitamin, again, in my opinion, I believe your multivitamin should also be taken in breakfast and or at lunch. And the reason being is that in most all multivitamins, there is some sort of B complex as well. So B vitamins are obviously energy producing, energy creating vitamins. And if you're taking those at night, then again, you're going to be turning off some of that whole rest, digest, parasympathetic system having to do with sleep. So I hope that helps to answer your question, Susan. A lot of you guys are asking to how much vitamin D should I be taking right now, especially during these COVID times. I have a whole other video that addresses all of that, but I'll just briefly say this, that it is in my opinion that most people at this time are vitamin D deficient, almost severely vitamin D deficient. Matter of fact, I was just reading a study that showed that 90% of people that were in the hospital with COVID, meaning they were doing blood draws on them, 90% of those people had a vitamin D deficiency. Now, if there's one supplement that anybody can take, vitamin D, guys, this is so incredibly cheap to produce. I think it's like 5 cents a day. And if you're thinking about how much you should be taking, in my opinion, again, I always suggest that people take around 5,000 to 10,000 IUs as a baseline during the winter months. And the reason being is because your body is not getting as much sun exposure. A lot of people say, Bo, aren't you supposed to get vitamin D from the sun? And don't I only need to be out in the sun for 20 minutes a day? And my answer is yes. However, you are probably not getting full sun exposure, and full sun exposure is the key, meaning you're walking around naked outside for 20 minutes a day under the full bright sun during the peak hours. Now, most of us are still working or indoors, or the weather's not great outside, and those things lower our serum vitamin D, and vitamin D is vital for our mitochondria to function, for different cellular properties to happen to increase your immune function. So that's a very long-winded way of simply saying this. Susan, take your vitamin D in the morning and or at lunch with some sort of fat-soluble carrier-like food. If you guys have questions about this, of course, ask down in the comments. But yeah, I hope that helps you guys. And I'm just in between patients, so I'm heading back. I call it back into the trench to adjust people. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hope you guys are staying well. Hope you guys are staying happy. God, our world really, really needs a bright, shining star right now. All right, guys, have a great one. Happy New Year, 2021, right around the corner. Bye.